Hello YouTube. Bit of a different video today. Um, there are things called vlogs where people make like a video journal kind of thing. And I've never been one to start journals. Anytime I would try, because I see that it's a good way to express your emotions and get your thoughts out there. I mean, it's a valid way of doing it. It's just not one that I ever got around to doing. Like, I would start a journal, write a page, and then maybe write a second entry. But a part of me would think that it's like just too intimate, and it would be ashamed if someone found it. I don't know. So I just tore them up and threw them away. Like, I would randomly do journal entries and just tear them up and throw them away. I felt like it was something too personal, something that if anyone even found it, like, they'd have a piece of you. And I don't know, it feels wrong to me. But now and then I like to open my heart and like let my thoughts and stuff out, just because my brain feels cluttered. And a good outlet for that has been art for me. And art is great, but the more professional I get with art, and the older I get a little bit more practical thinking. And art has sort of become like a business to me. Like, I still enjoy it, don't get me wrong, but anytime I start drawing art, I start thinking about like the business repercussions of this. Like, oh, this would look good on the side of a building, this would look like that. It just comes with graphic design. And another outlet is needed sometimes. I still draw and I still write poetry sometimes, but decided to try this format just to see what would happen, just for the kicks. A lot of things have been happening lately. My grandfather passed away, and I'm about to move into an apartment, like moving out of my parents' house for the first time, and I'm going to be moving in with my best friend and my girlfriend, which is lucky for me. I'll see how it goes at the end of the year lease, see if we're at each other's throats. I mean, that'll be an experiment in itself. I'm excited for it, though, to be honest. But yeah, my family's gone for the week. They went down to Mexico to pay their respects for my grandpa, and I couldn't do it because of work and because of we're in the middle of getting a lease and everything, and I'm just here taking care of the house essentially. So yeah, the kind of things have been in my life, and I've been working with my best friend on a board game. We are still undecided on the name, so the temporary name is Skies of Scoundrels, and it's something that we've been talking about for a while, because I had an idea based on an old comic that I did, or comic pages, like 4 of them. I didn't keep up with it. I just tend to just start things and not finish them. But it was called Blank Space, and it was not steampunky really, but that's the vibe that everyone got, so I just went with it. It started with an idea where I would write a word, and I would write in a whole page, like it'd be like maybe one growth, like one word, just like overgrowth. And then I would write it kind of bold, and then along the spaces of the word and stuff, I would build tiny little cities and like flying ships and dragons and spiders. I lived in caves like along the letters and stuff. And it was a cool thing to do when you were bored in your government and economics class in high school. And I really liked it. It was a really good outlet for my creativity. And I still actually try to do it now and then. And I still like it. I mean, I kind of want to decorate a whole wall with it, but I don't want to seem like a maniac who has like words written on the side of a wall and a bunch of drawings, and they're gonna be like, okay, straitjacket is needed. So I kind of want to avoid all that jazz. But yeah, it came from that idea, and I started making this comic called Blank Space, which is based upon like the lives of one of the little people that I draw, one of those words. And I came with this whole like epic backstory, and it was kind of awesome. And I'd like to draw that maybe again, like a little mini comic, because I really did have some neat ideas with that. But I had the idea of making it into a game, like a game with that theme. And I told Alfonso about it, my friend, and he's like, yeah, dude, I'm totally on board. And we talked about it. We got the mechanics down, coming up with characters. I'm obviously going to do the art. I mean, if he wants to draw, that's great, but he doesn't want to draw, so up to me then. He's a really good writer, and he's actually a really good DM/GM. He's all into that tabletop stuff, so he's bringing that in, while my girlfriend and I were more board game people, so we're bringing in our experience there, and we do a lot of research and stuff, so it's progressing fine. but we're probably gonna start work for reals once we move in, because that's kind of gonna be our HQ. Kind of nervous about the move, to be honest. It's a big change. I've been in this house, living with my parents, in this house particularly, for about 20 years, I guess. And just to not live in this house anymore and not be in contact with my family for the rest, like just coming home to them and stuff, and seeing my brother, who is now going to be 10 this year. Wow, a big 2 digits. Like, it's going to be a major change. It's going to be something to get used to. But since they're gone for the week, I'm kind of getting this like sneak peek at how life is going to be living without my parents. And it's obviously harder because, I have to make my meals. My mom used to make breakfast. She's a very traditional Mexican woman. Like, she'll wake you up like at 8 and be like, hey, it's time to eat breakfast. I made you this. And it's like, oh, that's good. Like, I rarely have to make breakfast for myself. Well, that's not true. During the week I do, because she's at school. She's taking courses in English, which is good because, she really likes the English language. She wants to get more familiar with it. But she usually either like leaves me breakfast, or like the night before will tell me what we have in the fridge. She'll give me options, and now I'm going to have to go buy those things and like make the option for myself. And this week is like a test. It's like, am I ready to move out? And I'd like to say that the answer is yes, because today I woke up and I was hungry, and instead of just grabbing something that is not very satisfying, like maybe a cereal or like a quick bagel, I decided to just make myself breakfast. And I made pancakes, eggs, sausage links, and bacon, and that is a hearty breakfast meal. And I feel like that's one little badge of, hey, you can make breakfast. Now let's do lunch and dinner. So I'm going to do that later, and got to get things organized. Got to start packing. I changed the oil in my car and stuff. So I'm feeling kind of confident about the move. It's still nerve-wracking, though. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, and the news about my grandpa passing away was rather sudden. He is ancient. He's like 100 years old. And he lives down in Mexico in this like tiny town. Not even a town, I'd say more like a village. Because some people still live in like these houses that are basically put together by like nails and sticks and planks and prayer. And that's the way that they're used to it. That's their life. As a family, we gather together, and recently, I'm going to say within the last 5 years, managed to build my grandma, an actual house with like cinder blocks and like metal sheeting roof, and we like put roofing on it and stuff. Well, we couldn't do it ourselves, but we hired someone to go and do it, and she now has this like weatherproof like house. She had a weatherproof house. It's this old wood stick one, but it's falling apart. It's really shabby, and like it has spiders and all this other stuff. Like, we upgraded her basically. She has a legit house, and she's one of the few that do in that village. And that's the conditions that my grandpa was in. He was in around this dirt and stuff, and like he lived for so long just because the farm life, I guess, just made him tough. There are farmers over there. They wake up at 3 a.m. and walk for miles to the nearest like location of vegetables and stuff, and they start picking, and they get paid for how much they pick and the quality and stuff. So then they come back and they drink, and then they fall asleep and do it all over again, that sort of thing. And my grandma, she's ancient as well, so she's been taking care of my grandpa, but no one else wants to help around. So they're just tired from working the farm, and they're lazy. Not gonna lie, my uncles are very lazy. So it was tough on my grandpa, and he died on the way from one hospital, because they took him to the nearest town, which was like 45 minutes. So yeah, it wasn't good on his health. He was already dying, and he died en route to a second opinion at another hospital as to what they can do. And I would like to have said that I was close with my grandpa, but I really honestly wasn't. He wasn't necessarily the best man in the world, but he did take care of my mom when she was young, and she grew up to be this marvelous woman that she is today. So for that, I'm grateful. And yeah, so that brings us to today. the thing that saddens me is that I can't bring my dog to wherever I move. And I've had that dog for like 11 years, maybe 12. Oh, 12 this year. He turns 12 December 5th. And I have to look for a place for him. And he's a really old dog. He probably has like a year of life left. And he's still excitable to see me. But yeah, it's probably the most emotional change I have in my life right now. Is that I have to deal with that. Because he was there before my brother was there. And he was kind of like my little brother before my little brother was my little brother. And yeah, he was a Christmas present that I got. And my parents aren't actually animal people, which is kind of stupid to get me a dog if you're not going to help me raise it. But yeah, so I've been raising it by myself. They don't want him in the house, so he's an outdoor dog. And I know that studies have shown that outdoor dogs aren't they don't fare well emotionally, but I like to think that my dog's fared all right. He's excitable and happy, and he can be sweet, and yeah, so it's just difficult. When the move comes in like a couple weeks or so, I'm delaying as much as I can to like give him up to someone. Probably the sooner I do, the better, but I'm dragging it out because I don't kind of want to see him go. But anyhow, so yeah, that's what I'm dealing with nowadays. Sorry if the videos have been far apart. I do like recording sessions of gaming. Like I recorded this one today, right before I recorded my audio, which is what I'm doing right now. And I all I was doing was basically just grunting like, oh, I got hit. It wasn't much commentary just because I have all this in my mind. So I'm like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna do a voice over my actual gameplay because the gameplay is actually pretty fun. So I didn't want you guys to like have nothing to hear but me just going, So I thought I'd give you a peek into my life. And I know I have like a couple more minutes before the video ends, just because I know how long I recorded for. So things that are gonna come up game wise, I've been playing XCOM at the request of my friend Alfonso, and I played it once before and I didn't like it just because I sucked at it. But that's because I'm a very gung-ho kind of person. So what I'm doing now is I'm trying to take care of my troops and all this other stuff. If you haven't played XCOM, it's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. It takes a lot of thinking. So if you're one of those actiony first-person shooter types that doesn't really care about, I mean, there's strategy in first-person shooters, but this one, it's like the shots aren't decided upon you. It's like you have like a 75% chance of shooting this alien, and then if you don't do it, you have to accept that you didn't do it, and then you have to have a contingency plan, like a backup plan. Like, all right, what do I do now? Like, I don't want my soldier to die. So it's very thinky that way. I'm also gonna play probably Mountain Blade Warband because I actually played it. I bought that game. It was on sale, and I played it for like 6 hours straight, and I got absolutely nowhere. Like, I built up this like army, and we were getting strong, and then I got captured, and then I came out, and then I was strong again, and then like, I guess I was doing something bad, and then I got captured. I surrendered because I didn't want my people to die. But if you don't want your people to die, then they are enslaved, and you escape. Like, so my big awesome army essentially is non-existent. They're captured, and I feel sorry. I mean, that game will make me feel like a piece of shit human. Just that game, Jesus. And I would like to record Monaco. What's Yours is Mine. I played that with Alfonso as well, and I feel like we make a pretty hilarious team. More Overgrowth, definitely. There are some levels that I still haven't shown you guys that I just play repeatedly. And, you know, a bunch of other games. I have like 80 plus games in Steam, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to showcase quite a lot to you guys. I mean, I'm still going to do the Super Mario Sunshine playthrough because it's still one of my favorite games. Probably after that I'll do Star Fox because, well, Star Fox Adventures, to everyone's dismay, it's the only Star Fox I ever finished and pretty much only played, so it's what I grew up with. anyways, I guess I've kept you long enough, and thanks for listening to me gripe about myself. You know, it kind of helped me. So look forward to gaming with you guys soon, and keep on watching. See ya.